What are we talking about, Dayna? We're talking about healthy rhythms for our kids when it comes to screen time?
Yeah, I feel like technology, screen time, it's something you could talk about every week because it's always changing. There's new apps, there's new games, new series and things that kids are watching. And so it's something that we do want to, we want to bring up and make sure that we're talking about it because sometimes it can be overwhelming and we can sort of almost just stop and procrastinate, going any further. I'm talking to myself here.
I also want to add, I saw an ad for a program that's going to be on TV sometime soon called Parental Guidance. And I just saw the ad for it. And everyone who was in the audience were parents, obviously, but they were just overwhelmed, as you say, just freaked out about the access that our children have on their phones.
Yeah.
The rhythms, as we're going to talk about. So if that's you, listen, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We're just paddling in different directions sometimes and trying to get to the same place.
Some have got one, someone's got a hand in there. So.
Yeah. So this is just encouraging you that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it does get overwhelming. I'll put my hand up as well, man. I don't know how many times I need to remind myself about this discussion we're about to have. So this is good.
It is good. And you're not alone because a recent survey said that 70% of parents were worried about screens, technology, social media. That's 70%. 24% were really worried. So we're all thinking about it. We're all feeling a little bit like, oh, this is hard stuff. But I love, we've talked about a course that we're running at Parenting Place. It's an online course. It's called Digital Parenting. And we're a charity. We're not here to be like, we're making the money. We're here because our mission is we want parents to feel confident. And this is an area that they need confidence in. And if parents are confident, then kids are deeply loved. They feel safe. They feel seen. They feel delighted in. So we've seen there's a real need for help around the whole digital world that our kids are living in. And this course is awesome because we're talking with people from Auckland University, Safe Surfer, parent coaches, people that are advocating for better screens, devices, filters. So we've collated the information, we are evidence informed, and we're trying to take out, because we see stats all the time and we get worried. But if you've just got all these horrible stats, where's the hope? Where's the answers? Where's the practical tools?
Am I the only parent who in a given week can pendulum swing from, it's fine, watch that, that's all good, to, that's it, I'm taking a baseball bat to every screen in this house, we're going screen free, no one's looking at a screen, it's over. And then I'm like, no, actually that's ridiculous. And you're just trying to figure out, like, what does this look like? And, it's problematic too. Like, we talk about screen time as if time is the most important factor of, like, well, how long is it? 30 minutes a day? Is it you only get a bit of time if you've done your chores or something, or all that sort of stuff? But more so, the time is probably not the biggest factor in outcomes for kids, right? More so, what are they seeing?
Content.
What are they seeing?
You can see one thing in a very short window of time that's incredibly damaging, or you can spend an hour watching something that's totally fine or good for them. You know?
Totally. I think, too, when you look at New Zealand Ministry of Health and the guidelines, we all fall short of that. And so we don't want to just stop there. We want to think, what are they seeing? If they're on their screens, what are they missing out on? That face-to-face connection, the kicking the ball around, reading a book, just sitting with your thoughts, social awkwardness, boredom, a little bit of stress. We can self-soothe with, get on your phone and forget about all the different things you've got to do that day. So it's all those different questions. And Dan Segal, he's created this healthy mind platter. And sometimes it's back to basics with parenting, sometimes there's these big things, but it's doing the basics well. So you can even Google Dan Segal Healthy Food Platter, and it talks about the 7 areas. And he's a neuroscientist. He's studied what kids need to be doing well. And their brain. And so it's looking at, are they having time outside? Are they having social connection, face-to-face time with their friends? Are they having quiet time, a focus time, sleep time? I mean, when Sheridan was in here, she talked to you guys about how, our tweens, our teens, from the time of midnight to 5 a.m., 60% of them are jumping on during that time. So it's looking at all those different things. That impacts your sleep, and if you're looking at things that are stressing you out, that are getting your mind wired, then you're not going into the next day well.
Caffeine is very good at keeping you awake, but I reckon social media and your phone will keep you awake way better than caffeine will. Like, I mean, adults, we're all guilty of this too, right? It's like scrolling on your phone late at night or whatever, and you don't notice how tired you are. If you try and read a book, man, you get like 3 pages and then you're like, man, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep.
Oh, I thought you were talking about caffeine for the kids.
No, but it's like, it totally disrupts all of those things. Your rhythms, your understanding of yourself, your mind, like, can be pretty toxic. What about boredom?
Oh,
Boredom
boredom's good. I was thinking about when I go to the doctors and we're waiting in the waiting room, that is a place that I encounter a bit of boredom, a bit of stress, social awkwardness, because I only have one phone and so I'm not letting one child on the phone. So we're all sitting there together in those states. And I don't know what it is about the doctor surgery, my kids get a bit silly and they go to the water cooler 3 times. I'm like, no, just go back twice. And then my daughter gets all the pamphlets with all the different areas that you need to get with your body checked. We have awkward conversations and we're okay with that. But I think, when I was a teenager, I was waiting for the bus and I was sitting there and I was watching people and picking up on body language and I was seeing the boy that I had a crush on and trying to how do I talk to him? I wasn't glued to my phone. So I think too, our kids are missing these opportunities to be still, to be, thinking about their day, processing their thoughts, looking at people, knowing, oh, that person looks like they could be angry, I'm going to have a bit of distance, or that person looks like they're sad. All these things that if we're glued to a phone, we're missing out on, which I think are really important.
Active versus passive screen time. What's the difference?
Well, not all screen time's created equal. So that passive is, when you're on YouTube and you're just watching clip after clip and you're just scrolling and you were going to go on.
Scrolling.
Exactly. And you're like, I'll just do 20 minutes and then it's 2 hours later. Active it's what we really want to aim for it. And there's so many cool things. And that's the thing too. Technology, we can give it a hard time, but there's some great stuff. And it can actually help with family connection and doing things together. Like we do family movies, on a Friday night. And I love that. But there's also, like my boy has an app that he's learning piano with. You can go how to draw and, you're being active in that. Coding, a lot of teenagers love coding. You can go online and learn how to code and do that. So there's heaps of active where you're using your brain, even learning a dance. You got your friends over and you're watching something and you're learning it together. That's active screen time. Passive, we all have a bit of that, but we're trying to make sure that we're doing a bit more of that active rather than just sitting and scrolling.
I've got this great motto that I pretend that I live by, and that is if you're using your phone, try to create rather than consume. And that's basically that exact same thing, right? Because you can just be the end user who's just like, you're just a set of eyes, just pour it into me from whatever's on there. Or you can be using it to do exactly that, to be learning things, to be finding out about stuff, connecting with people. There's sort of that wide spectrum, and trying to find those programs or apps that are actually useful. Yeah,
and I love Common Sense Media. I don't know if you've heard of this. And this is sort of part of our family culture, part of our family rules in our home, is we will go to Common Sense Media and they review movies, apps, games. So we can see, well, okay, what are people saying about it? The experts are saying it's for this age. Then you've got all the parent reviews. So even movies, if you've got younger kids, it will say, hey, well, these themes are being brought up. This is what sort of, with language, this is what gets brought up. So that's a really great place. And some families, they even get their kids to go there and to research that particular movie or game that they're wanting to get before they have the conversation. So kids are wanting to have some autonomy. They're wanting to, be in control of their decisions. So like you were saying, we've got young kids. My kids are 6 and 8. They don't have phones. It's a long way away. But I'm aware that they're watching how I use my phone. And so I'm really having to be like, if I'm saying no phones in bedrooms, but then, I'm coming to do tuck-ins and I'm rubbing someone's back while I'm on my phone, well, I need to do better there. And kids, they call you out all the time. They're like, Mom, my son said, your back scratches, they suck when you're on your phone. So I have to be reminded to, go and put my phone away.
Don't those words cut deep, when you get called out by your own child? You're like, you're right.
But I share this because I work at Parenting Place and I still, I muck up, I get it wrong. And then I have grace for myself to go, all right, Dayna, come on, pep talk. That's right. That's a family rule, and saying to my kids, oh, I'm sorry, you're totally right. Yep, phone's in the kitchen, not in the bedroom,
Yeah, see how colourful those conversations are with your kids when they turn into teenagers. You guys can come back and tell me how that works out for you. Last one from me, Dayna. You've given us some really cool tools, a couple of really cool websites that people can jump into. There's so much that we can talk about. One of them is, please jump into parentingplace.nz. But what's your key takeaway this morning for somebody who's plugging in?
I just would love for you to go and have a little look at parentingplace.nz. You can have a look at what modules we cover. My husband, he's part of a men's group, and they actually have done the course, together. And I love that. I'm like, honey, that is sexy when you guys are out there doing a parenting course together and talking about, all these big things.
Nothing hotter than upskilling.
Woo! But, I think it's so important, to be doing it with other people. When you get the course, you can be sitting down with your mates and doing it together. You can be sitting down with your partner, with a grandparent. Man, grandparents need to look at their screen time, because we can all be learning. It's not just about the kids, it's about how are we consuming as well. So go and have a look. The course is $80, but with the 20% off, it's $64. And once you own it for life. So for me, I might not be looking at how I'm setting up phones right now, but I'm looking at Safe Surfer, I'm looking at, those filters. So the great thing is, in a year or two, when you're at that next stage, you go back onto the course, it's there, and you click on the module and you go, all right, give me a script, give me tools. There's even like phone contracts, and it talks about like, okay, a phone, it's not a particular age. It's, is your child ready for it? Here are the 4 different things. How are they doing in those areas? Why do they need it? What are they using it for? So it's really practical and it's evidence informed, which I think is really important because as parents, we're overwhelmed with information as well. And so that's part of it, that we're wanting to take all that away from you and actually talk to the different people that are key experts in the fields and make it easy.
Let them do the work.
Yeah.
Well, the discount code is for you this morning. So 20% off the digital parenting online course through Parenting Place. If you want to claim that or use it, it's 20 now, so 20 now, all sort of one word, and you get 20% off.
And that's valid till the end of this month, 31st of October. So go have a little look through and then you can make that decision if you're going to get it or not. But yeah, it's and Sella and I actually are the people that we're the guides through the course. So it's just hanging out with us. We're not the experts, thank goodness, but we will
Trust us. Trust me. I ain't.
He's asking the questions.
We're we're just there to get help.
Well, if you want to go and see more, and you can find out about it, parentingplace.nz. Dayna, thanks so much for coming in, and we'll see you again next time.
Sounds
Shot,
good.
Dayna.